couple reasons why you would watch this video versus the $400,000 video is really 5 reasons, right? You're increasing your budget by $100,000.
And so with that, what are you going to get? You have the sound?
The sound is
okay,
going.
very
Excellent,
good.
Excellent. We're trying to make sure that we're as the least disruptive that we can be. Okay, so there's 5 reasons why you would really increase your budget by $100,000. First off, we're going to introduce some newer areas, right, in this particular video. The actually 2 areas on this video series is not even
they weren't featured on the $400,000 price point video. That's correct. So we have some new areas we're going to introduce today.
Plus, we're going to have larger units. So we're going to be, this is going to be our first time looking at units that are 1 bedroom plus a den.
That's true. And also we're even going to find one unit that has an eat-in kitchen, which is also a first for us.
So if you're looking for a development that you could have an office, like maybe you're teleworking or you do a large percentage of your work teleworking, this style unit or this particular development is going to be of interest to you. Then there's washer and dryers in all of the units that we're going to look at today, which is very important, right? You don't have to worry about having your clothing in
lugging it around the building. Yes,
exactly. So maybe I know most of the developments you have a laundry chute or a laundry center right on the same floor, so it's not that big of an inconvenience, but you don't want your unmentionables where people could mention them, right? And then reason number 4 and 5 are kind of lumped together. We're looking at some newer developments. So some of these properties are going to have been built in 2000 or later, or I guess sooner. And then we're also going to be looking at just better amenities. So we're going to be looking at larger gyms, better pools, the best rooftop deck in all of Arlington, right? So that's one of the developments we're going to look at. And so that's why you would watch this video versus our $400,000 video. But if your budget permits, or if it doesn't permit you to come up this high, go check out that video. It is on our channel.
Excellent. Now, if you are thinking of relocating, whether looking at $500,000 condos or just moving to the area, we want to encourage you to check out the link down below in the description for our perfect home questionnaire. You fill out that quick questionnaire and we will contact you to host your perfect home consultation where you'll meet with Abraham and we'll discuss your plans on relocating.
Excellent. So these are the units that we're going to be taking a look at. Hold on.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to be looking at 5 buildings today. The first 2 actually are going to be in the Clarendon area. Then we're going to head on to the Boston, Virginia Square area, finally ending up in Rosslyn at the last location of the Belvedere.
All right, and so this is where they are on the Google Map. This Google Map link will be available in the video description after this video goes live. Probably I'll put it up tomorrow, so you can kind of see what the address is for these different units and kind of see like where they are on the map. All
right, so first up, we're going to start with Clarendon 1021, and it is actually going to be one of the most popular communities along the Orange Line. So it has 10 stories, 419 units. This one is super conveniently located just 2 blocks from the Clarendon Metro. And one of the cool things about this development is going to have open floor plans, hardwood floors, gourmet kitchen. A lot of the units going to have floor-to-ceiling windows in the family area or the main living space. So you're looking in the living room, dining room area, you're going to see floor-to-ceiling windows, and then many of the units also have private balconies. And on top of that, there are just so many amenities. Huge gym. This is the one that has the biggest gym.
No, second largest.
Oh, this is the second largest. Yes. The gym was huge here.
It is huge. It is, but it's the second largest.
Okay. All right. So huge gym, rooftop pool. There's also a rooftop jacuzzi that's open year round. 24-hour concierge. On-site management, as well as private parking in the area. But it's not just the amenities of the building that draw people to this location. It's also the amenities or the creature comforts that are nearby. Yes. Because of your location, as I said, you're walking distance to the metro, but you're also close to Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, an array of restaurants and shops. There's also going to be the crossing at Clarendon, which is like a little shopping area that I really like, that has a Pottery Barn, a Container Store, Barnes & Noble, Sephora, and even a Soul Cycle, right? So when you're buying in this Clarendon area, you're really buying the area, not just the building. But this is still a pretty nice building to buy into.
One place we did not mention, the Crystal, I guess forgot to mention, was there's also a Cheesecake Factory within walking distance, right? Our children love Cheesecake Factory. They choose it or they select it as
every year
their birthday spot.
Every year.
So if you have littles, or maybe you have nephews, nieces, or something like that coming in town.
The kids love.
The kids
Yes,
love the,
yes,
the
the kids do.
encyclopedia menu.
The kids do love that place. And so now let's take a look at the distance to a few places.
So we're 2.5 miles to the Pentagon, 6 miles to Capitol Hill, 9 miles to Tyson, 17 miles to Fort Belvedere, and then we also have Dulles and Quantico on that list as well. So what you'll notice is that you're still looking at single-digit commutes. One of the reasons why we love talking about the Arlington area is because of the commute. Like, you get to have a really good quality of life. You're around a lot of amenities, not only amenities inside of your building when you're buying a condo, but amenities that are come with the community. And then you're also able to get the true Washington DC experience or DC Metro experience. You can't say enough about that.
Can you tell that he loves condos?
Yes.
All right, so now let's take a look at a few condos. Before we do, I want to share with you guys 25 of these one-bedroom units sold in Clarendon 1021 last year. And the average price point was $505,000. Now on the low end, you can find a one-bedroom for $415,000, and then the most expensive one-bedroom to sell last year sold for $605,000. So this one that we're going to take a look at was right around that average price point, and it sold for $501,000.
So this one is the condo fee for this unit was $393. We have 746 square feet, built in 2005. Nice modern cabinets, which is to be expected with any building that was built between 2000 and now.
Nice size bedroom.
Yeah, nice size bedroom. I just love the cabinets. I also like the outdoor area as well. You can get some fresh air into a unit. And then this is that outdoor space that Crystal was mentioning on
Rooftop
the rooftop
pool
with the little jacuzzi right there.
Also a nice grilling area there. So if you want to entertain, or if you're just enjoying some time at the pool, you can just step on right on by and go to the grilling area. Beautiful views.
Yep. Especially if you can get into that any like the 9th or 10th floor in this development. They have gorgeous views. And then this is the gym. Rather large gym, lots of treadmills. I love to see lots of treadmills. I also love to see that they have a place for weights. Right?
Yeah, free weights.
Yes, free weights. So you see a lot of the gyms that do not have that. And then we have just a more common area.
Business center there
as well. So
that's first up.
Clarendon 1021. Next up on our list is the Charleston.
Now, the Charleston is also located in that Clarendon courthouse area. And so, once again, for the Charleston, its biggest asset is going to be its location. You cannot beat its proximity to, just everything. You're only 1.5 miles away from the courthouse metro. Again, you're going to have access to all those same amenities that we mentioned with Clarendon 1021. But then you're also going to be super close by to the movie theater. There are a couple of Starbucks in the area, and on top of that, you have the amenities of the building itself, which is going to have 24-hour concierge, outdoor pool, as well as a fitness center and a community lounge. Now, this is going to be our first one that we're going to see that's going to have like that one bedroom plus a den. It has 168 units, over 10 stories. And another thing that people really like about this one is they accept both cats and dogs, and there's no weight restriction. And that's huge, because that's not something you really see in such an urban community or in a high-rise condo. Now, there may still be some breed restrictions, but there's no weight restriction. And again, that is huge in such an urban area.
When we work with condo clients, usually some of them have larger animals, right? And then the breed isn't necessarily the issue, but once you get over 20 pounds, 30 pounds, then it becomes quite challenging to find a development that will fit your dog's needs.
Absolutely. Now, we had and there were 10 units that sold last year. The average price was going to be $465. The low was $435, and the high was only $490.
Yes, and this is another single-digit commute living. So you're looking at 3 miles to the Pentagon, 5 miles to Capitol Hill, 9 miles to Tyson's, and then a little bit under 18 miles to Fort Belvedere. So again, great commute times if you happen to work either in Arlington or around the Arlington area. And so let's look at one of the units.
Okay, now the unit we're looking at actually sold for $475. Now, this is going to actually be a little bit older than some of the other units that we're going to take a look at today. So this one actually built in 1991, which you can see from the outside is a little bit older. But if you look inside, you look at the unit itself, you can see that very well kept and even, updated.
And that was that little office area that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. So this one is 760 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, but you see it's a nice little dining area here. And then off to the side in a minute, you're going to see that they have a den, which is an extra, that extra living space that we're talking about that you're going to get in this $500,000 price point, which is just not something we saw when we're looking, below in that $400,000 price point.
Exactly. And then you also have your little balcony there. It's always great to see some outdoor living space.
Mm-hmm.
So next up is Lexington Square.
All right, so Lexington Square is actually going to take us to like that Boston, Virginia Square area. It's actually kind of smack dab in the middle between the two. It is going to be just 3 miles from the Virginia Square Metro and 4 miles from the Boston Metro. This building was built in 2000. It has 10 stories and 367 units. It's actually going to be separated by our 4 buildings with east and west wing. I like this area because it's going to be super close to all that Boston has to offer. So that's going to be that Boston quarter and all of the shops, restaurants that are available there. But you're also not far from Quincy Park, and you're going to be close by to the Central Library as well. So you're just really close to a lot of things without being on that main street. So you're not on Wilson, you're not on Fairfax, you're kind of tucked off a little bit on 9th Street. So I think that kind of helps out a little bit with, the hustle and bustle and the noise of being on one of those main streets.
Yes, another thing that's nice is that you're kind of right in the middle between 2 metro stops too, so you can just pick your poison there.
Absolutely, like I said, you're just three blocks from one, 4 from the other. And then as far as amenities within the building, you're going to have an outdoor pool, a courtyard, fitness center. There's a party room, and then of course on-site management within the location as well.
So this development is going to be 3.5 miles to the Pentagon, 7 miles to Capitol Hill, 7.5 miles to Tice's Corner, 18 miles to Fort Belvedere, 20 miles to Dulles Airport. So you do get a little bit closer to Dulles.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But then you're still in those 30-mile plus to Quantico, right?
Now, as far as sales, this one had a few more sales than our last building. There were 17 sales of 1-bedroom units last year, and the average price point was $460,000. The low was $410,000, and then the high was $528,000. So even the highest price point is still not very much more than $500,000. Mm-hmm. Now, the one we're going to look at actually sold for exactly $500,000, and this is going to be a 1-bedroom with a 1.5 bath. And once again, we're going to see this is a 1-bedroom with a den.
Those den areas are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
You could get yourself a full table and not have to compromise on your living space, which is why a lot of people like the den area.
Mm-hmm.
And like the other property we just looked at, you could also have an office setup, right? So you could either choose to have a formal dining area or just have a true office.
Mm-hmm. And this last picture actually is the den. They're using it as a bedroom in this unit, but this is actually the den. So you can see it's a nice size space. Mm-hmm. Another thing to point out is we're seeing the closets are going to be a little bit larger in these $500,000 units than what we saw at the $400,000 price point. We're going to see a couple of walk-in closets during today's tours.
Right. And this is one of the best outdoor pools that we're going to see on our tour today.
It actually kind of reminds you of a hotel, right?
It does look like a hotel. It does. It does.
Okay. And so before we move further, if you're still with us, thank you for watching. We want to remind you to check out the Perfect Home Questionnaire, which is going to be linked down below in the description. If you are relocating to the area in the near future and you would like to work with us, or you have questions about your move, make sure to hit us up by clicking the link of the Perfect Home Questionnaire, and we will reach out to schedule your Perfect Home consultation.
Excellent. So the next property on our list is going to be the Continental. We do have a video on our channel for the Continental. We're also going to have a video of Clarendon 1021 and
the Belvedere.
The Belvedere, which is going to be our final development that we're going to look at shortly up on our channel. So if you have any interest in any of those developments, you can check out our YouTube channel for videos on those developments.
Excellent. Now, the Continental is going to be a luxury high-rise building, and it's going to have one of the most breathtaking views of all of the condos in Arlington. It has 21 stories and 411 units. And it is just absolutely, it's a great location. You're going to be 3 blocks from the Boston Metro. Again, close to everything in Boston Quarter, which is home to a number of great restaurants and shops. We really like Ted's Bulletin as well as True Foods Kitchen, which are located right there as well. And you're also going to be close to the Target, which is right on along just a little bit to the west of the building itself. Now, as far as amenities within the building, you're looking at a 24-hour concierge, a meeting room, theater room. There's a huge rooftop pool, a rooftop fitness center, and also within the building they have dry cleaners. So you're going to see a lot of amenities that you just don't see in some of the lower price points here at the Continental. And again, you're kind of off the beaten path just a little bit, so not as noisy or as busy if you were on, like, say, Glebe Road.
That's true. I'd also say that the gym in this development is the first gym that we've come across where it's actually a rooftop gym, so it's not in the basement.
Mhm.
So you have great views from your gym, and it almost feels like a kind of like a Hyatt almost. Now, as far as the distances, you're going to be traveling 6 miles to the Pentagon, 7 miles to Capitol Hill, 7 miles to Tyson's Corner, 22 miles to Fort Belvedere, and 19 miles to Dulles Airport.
All right. Now, there were 22 sales of 1 bedroom units in the Continental last year. The average price point was $462,000. The low was $385, and the high was $549. So I think that's our biggest range that we're seeing today as far as low to high. I mean, it's, almost like $175,000 differential. But we're going to take a look at something that's kind of right there in the middle. Our average is $462 in the unit we're looking at. So for $485. And again, larger unit. This one here, 870 square feet.
I like the ceiling height in this place too.
Now, what I really like about this one is this foyer,
Yes.
because when we walk into 1 bedroom condos, oftentimes you walk right into the kitchen. I feel like almost every time you walk right into the kitchen,
Right.
living room area. And so this is the first time we're seeing a foyer, and I really appreciate that.
It is a common design to just open it up, because of the open floor plan craze. But
Well, yeah, I
like
mean,
this.
with the square, I guess, I see it both ways. Whereas, you can use that square footage for living, but I just feel like it makes it a little more homey to have that foyer there. Beautiful kitchen,
Gas stove,
large refrigerator. That's something else I noted. They have a larger refrigerator than some of the other units. Nice size bedroom. This one does not have a den. However, you can see that the bedroom itself is pretty large.
That's true. And then you have your little outdoor living space. I love the outdoor living spaces. All right, so the last place on our list is going to be Belvedere. I want to say the Belvedere, but that's not the correct name.
So this is our first foray into the Roslyn area. So this unit here is located in Roslyn. It has 525 units, over 19 stories. I absolutely love this location because it is super close to DC.
Yep.
You can actually, and they have beautiful views at this building. So you can see straight across to DC from this unit, and they have sunrooms or balconies of pretty much every unit.
Yeah.
Actually, the unit that we're going to take a look at in a few minutes has both a balcony and a sunroom, which I fell in love with. But this is going to be one of the most largely populated condos in Arlington. It has an east and west tower. Now, the 1 bedrooms, even the smallest ones, are going to be pretty substantial. 750 square feet is actually the smallest for the 1 bedroom units. And then they have some 1 bedroom plus a den that are almost 1,000 square feet. So we're talking about pretty nice size units here. And this is actually known as kind of like resort style living as far as this condo, because they have an array of amenities that you just don't see in some of the other buildings. It has a large fitness center, 24-hour front desk. It has 2 tennis courts. It offers covered parking, a library, game room. So it's one of those places where you don't really have to leave. Like once you're in there, there's even a convenience store. Like once you're in there, you're there, and you don't necessarily need to leave for any reason.
It kind of reminds me of what's the condo development one of our clients purchased in that has multiple buildings in it, multiple towers.
Montebello.
Montebello.
It does remind me
yes.
of Montebello. It also reminds me of the Rotunda in McLean,
Oh, okay.
which
Yes.
again, you
Yes.
have multiple buildings, but you're also going to have those convenience stores, and all three of them have
Yes.
that in common. And so you have a lot of amenities, larger building, and just one of those places that once you get home, you don't have to leave. I feel like when we're in the Clarendon and the Boston areas, you're close to a lot of things. Like it's very walkable,
Right.
but you still have to leave the campus. You still have to leave the development to get to some things. Here at the Belvedere, because they do have that, they have the tennis court, which is
Yes.
unlike any of the other places, but also because they have the convenience store, that means that you can get away with not leaving as much.
That's true.
Because none of the units that we talked about today have supermarket or retail on the lower level. We talked about that, one of the buildings in our under $400,000 video. The Eclipse had that, but none of our places today. So again, this is one of those places that is just a little bit different from what we talked about earlier. Now, I will say it's still walkable. There's a Safeway and a Target, so if you want to go to a real supermarket, still very close by. And in addition to that, you're also going to be just a few blocks from the metro, so you're not far from the Roslyn Metro. You're looking at maybe 3 or 4 blocks north. You're going to be at the Roslyn Metro. So again, pretty walkable, but just not in the thick of things the way you would be in Boston or Clarendon.
Right. And as far as, I mean, when Crystal said that Target and Safeway are near this property, look, it's only a few blocks away. And then there's also a Starbucks right here. So for all you fanatics, you'll be able to get your fix in, right?
And again, you can see other retail space nearby, but just not as close by or not as much
Right.
as you would see in some of the other areas.
So as far as this is concerned, 2.5 miles to the Pentagon. So this is going to make the unit, this is going to be the development that we look at that has the closest commute to the Pentagon. We're 6 miles to Capitol Hill, 10 miles to Tice's Corner, 18 miles to Fort Belvoir, 22 miles to Dulles, and then 35 miles to Quantico.
Now, the average sales price for a 1-bedroom unit in this development was only $443,000. The low was $370,000, and wow, the high was $590,000. So actually, this is going to be the biggest difference we're going to see. So nearly $200,000 difference from the 1-bedroom. In a 1-bedroom price range. And again, this unit or this development does have the 1-bedroom plus 1-bedroom with the den.
Yes.
So that's why you're going to see such a big difference in those prices. But the one we're going to look at here is just a 1-bedroom with 1 bath.
What's cool about the Belvedere is the way the floor plans open up to these sunrooms. It's a unique design that I haven't really seen in many developments.
And it is huge. The sunroom is huge. And the balcony is a nice size as well. What I really like about these units is the way the bathrooms and the closets are set up, is that you really kind of have almost a dressing room.
Yes.
Or in the master bathroom is separated in most of the units, where you have like the vanity separated from the actual water closet or the shower.
Right. Another cool thing about this development or this property is because it's a high rise, you get to put yourself some hardwood floors on your unit or engineered floors. So you can, there's so many design choices that you can go with these units, and we've seen them all in this particular development.
And now this is a nice size unit. This one here is 900 square feet. And this is larger than even some of the ones we saw plus a den. This is just 900 square feet living, without any additional rooms. And so as you can see, you can fit lots of items into this unit. This one here, this one here is a really interesting one because the sunroom is off of the kitchen, but then there's a balcony off the living space. I just really love this layout. And also, this is our first time seeing an eat-in kitchen.
Yes.
Which we have just not. We've seen dining rooms in a few of the units, but this one here has a nice galley kitchen with, the option to eat in the kitchen.
That's true. All right, so that was our condos, our $500,000 condos in Arlington. So we first looked at Clarendon 1021, followed by the Charleston, Lexington Square, the Continental, and then Belvedere. Out of all of those developments, which one did you prefer?
I really like the Belvedere, and I like the Belvedere for one reason. I am petrified. I'm afraid of heights, and so I don't do balconies. And so the sunroom is really what seals the deal for me.
Yeah, I feel like the Belvedere for me is too close to things, so it's a little.
Is it too congested for you?
It's a little congested for me. I like the tennis courts because I play tennis. So we haven't really touched on any developments that have enough,
Enough
enough
space
space
in
for.
Arlington. Oh
And this is two
goodness.
tennis courts, so it's not
Yeah.
even just one. But the Continental would be my favorite development. I like the rooftop deck. I could see myself spending a lot of time on the rooftop deck.
Oh, I'm surprised by that. I thought that you would choose Clarendon 110 because I like the Continental because it's in that Boston area. I just would see you more of liking the Clarendon area. I don't like really busy areas, and so I feel like I like Clarendon a little bit more than Boston. But
10, 20.
you have a few more years to decide.
Right. Yeah, we're going to be moving into a condo once
in 6 years when our
Yes.
youngest graduates high school.
That's true.
We're
That's
counting
true.
down if you can't tell.
So yeah, so when we go take tours of these places, or when we're doing this research, we're not only doing research for you, we're also doing research for ourselves. I think I like the Boston area more. I like the restaurants that are there. I feel like the Clarendon area restaurants are sometimes a little bar forward for
Okay.
me. So whereas Boston, I feel like they have more established restaurants, or restaurants that are a little bit
Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to work on getting you. We know we're not gonna move to Roslyn. That's already. I really like the Belvedere, but I know we're not gonna move to Roslyn just because it's not close enough to things for you. But I really was hoping you would choose Clarendon. But I have a few years to work on you though.
There's a couple of developments in Roslyn that we'll cover on a future video, as far as like, I think we'll have to get into like the luxury condo video. That I think that if you saw what they had to offer, you would probably change your tune about the Roslyn area. But I think that just from this batch of properties, or this batch of developments, the Continental would be my first choice, followed by Clarendon 1021. I like the Charleston, but I felt like it was a little bit older than I would like. And then I would end with the Belvedere or Belvedere.
Okay, so I would go Belvedere, Clarendon 1021, and then that's it. I only have a top two. I don't have because I'm not sold on Boston yet. So
Interesting. Yeah, I like Boston. Boston is a little bit more walkable. There's more parks. You can go to a wide variety of parks. Also, like the Continental is between two metro stops, so you have your pick there. And then there's also, there's Shake Shack right down the street.
See, we need to be a little bit farther away from Shake Shack, not closer to Shake Shack.
Well, if we do the Clarendon 1021, you're right next to Cheesecake Factory.
Yes, but we don't go there. We only go there for the kids. We don't go. We don't choose that for ourselves. That's anyway.
Now I will say, if you go to the Belvedere has like a incline coming into, a decline going into the development. So as far as walkability, I know we showed it on the map how it's close to Target, close to Safeway. I don't really see too many people walking.
Oh, because of that incline.
There, because it's a severe incline. So the Belvedere, while it is the closest to the DC area, I think that it looks like it's close, but I think that it's probably still a lot of people using cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are our 5 picks for 5 condos, 1-bedroom condos in Arlington under $500,000. Join us next time. We're actually going to talk about 2-bedroom condos in our next video, and we're going to show you a few 2-bedroom units. Increase your budget a little bit, get yourselves a little bit more square footage, right?
That's true. And if you like this series right now, I don't know if you all noticed, but we're working through condos in the Arlington area. We get a lot of inquiries from individuals who they're relocating to the area, but they aren't sold on getting a townhouse or a single family home. And they want to they don't feel like renting, but they do want to make sure that they don't mind the commute, right? So
they don't want to be in the city,
right,
but they don't want to be as far into the suburbs as, say, Fairfax County.
That's true. And we're also getting people who already live in Washington, D.C., who are reaching out to us because they're already used to living in a small space, but now they want a little bit more square footage, and they want to get out of the things that come with living in DC proper.
Absolutely. And if you are one of those people and you have questions about relocating to the area or any of the properties we talked about today, click the link in the description to fill out the Perfect Home questionnaire. Once you do, we'll reach out to you to schedule a Perfect Home consultation with you and Abraham, where you can answer any questions you have about the area or about your move.
Excellent. I think that was our last spot on the list. Let's see. We have a comment here. Great job. Thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
We hope you all enjoy the content. Our goal is to make sure that we make the research process a little bit easier for you. Also, we want to make it easier for you to use us as your
Absolutely.
real estate agent of choice. As you can see, we love diving into the information, making it more engaging for you to make it a little bit easier to parse out, right? Because if you're looking at Arlington, you could look in Tyson's Corner. You can also look in City of Alexandria. So what makes these different places unique? So we appreciate that feedback. Until next time, we'll see you on the next video. Peace.